the young and foreign.
Kick to the gut!
Kick to the gut.
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 Kick to the gut. Kick to the gut.
Kick to the gut.
Hey, Kick to the Gut.
Kick to the gut.
Kick to the Gut podcast.
Kick to the gut podcast.
Kick to the gut.
Your podcast sucks!
It's time to shake! Really, immediately right from the start here today. What's going on, dude? Okay. As we see Forward's handsome face right there.
Alamak.
We got you, we got you.
Forward in the building, very delayed building.
Yeah. Fazli, how are you? Faz Game SG, how are you? Muhammad Daniel, what's up? Rishi, yo. Thanks for dropping by the chat, you guys. That's the whole reason we have this live chat here on the live stream, right? So you guys can weigh in on the many happenings in the world of professional wrestling. So you know what? Bro, I feel like we need to do the intro again. It's Mr. Young.
And it's Forward in the building.
It's time to shake things up with the WWE Draft. That's what we are here to talk about. And that's why we're doing the show today, bro.
Yeah, man, coming to you on a special time, Tuesday, one day removed from our usual time slots, but because there is a reason, because we want to come right after the second day of the draft.
Muhammad Daniel said today got a lot of delay though, as in we delayed the show one whole day. Is that what you're saying? Because if we did the show at our regular time slot, we wouldn't be able to talk about the full draft, and we wanted to see the whole picture. And here's the thing, right? The draft only takes effect after October 22nd, after Saudi Mania, Crown Jewel.
Bro, I like how every year they make new rules. One time got superstar shake-up. Then got, what's the one, they can flip from one side to one side.
Wildcard rule.
Oh my god, that wildcard rule. I tell you, bro, they make rules on the go, bro.
Okay, and it's interesting that you bring that up, because does it take away from the draft? I feel like, and I think we've talked about this before, but if they do a draft, they should enforce it for at least a year. Like, come on, right? No more of this superstar shake-up, random wildcard bullshit. It takes away from what is the draft. And to me, honestly, as the years go by, the draft becomes less and less of a thing. Less and less important to me anyway. I don't know about you, but like, I didn't get to watch Raw today because I was a bit busy. But also, bro, that's why I need to rely on you for today's draft. But I also didn't feel like I needed to watch the draft show. I feel like, okay I will look on social media, I see the draft picks can already, you know?
Bro, you save yourself 3 hours of time wasting, bro.
Okay, so, but isn't that a problem though? That's the whole thing with the draft. It's supposed to generate interest and buzz. What is it about this year's draft that's like,
Yeah, okay. It's very interesting that you brought it up, because like you said, in the recent years, the draft has become almost not that significant. Like in 2019 itself, there was 2 drafts. Do you remember? There was one right after WrestleMania, and there was one at the start of the Fox era of Smackdown. I miss those days, when we just posted it a couple of days ago, when in 2002 they had the draft. When it's literally, you had like the scenes backstage, the wrestlers reacting to their names getting called out. Like, those were fun times. That was the draft memory for me personally.
This year, it just seems like, okay, we have to do the draft, so let's take this as an opportunity to switch people around. And the way it was presented as well, I think some people feedback to us on our Instagram account. Anytime you want, you can slide into our DMs. We like it when you slide, baby. They were feedbacking to us that this year seems very, like, it's all set up. Like, immediately after the draft, cut to the backstage promo by whoever who just got drafted. It's like, wow, they knew already, you know? It didn't feel, like you said, remember those scenes of everyone sitting backstage waiting for their name? And I think, right, what makes the draft work, right, was not the fact that they put everyone back in a pool and then draft them one by one. Because I think the thing that was exciting about previous drafts, especially in the early iterations of it, was that each show had choices to take one guy or 2-3 guys from the different show. So that ensures that there's this unpredictability. Like, who cares if like Roman Reigns stays on SmackDown? You know what I mean? Exactly, right? It becomes And I suppose also another point I want to bring up is that because we've watched wrestling for so long, these characters have been on both brands so much, it's like, so what if so and so? Like, Remember back when, I don't know, John Cena was first drafted to Raw? That was a big deal because for
Yes.
many years, John Cena was like seen as a Smackdown guy. Batista, same thing. He was the Raw guy, right? So in your mind, in this era now, is there anybody who's can be seen as a single brand guy?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Like every single wrestler, especially if you're on the main roster, has been on Raw, has been on SmackDown,
Yep.
you know, at least once. And the worst part is some of the wrestlers was on Raw initially. They were just on SmackDown for only 1 year and then they went back on Raw. So it
Yeah.
wasn't really that exciting, think about it.
Exactly right. Div Royalty says this year's draft could have been an email. LOL. You know what? That's a freaking great point, and that's hilarious too
Bro,
because
that's
it really
the
could have been.
most Singaporean response to the draft I've ever heard.
Oh, Muhammad Daniel says they should do a lottery. Wow, make it random. Wow, can you imagine the first draft pick? Mustafa Ali,
No one cares.
Mansoor. Hey, actually,
no.
to be fair, just a sidetrack, Mustafa Ali and Mansoor's little gimmick is quite cute. I like that they're making it work right now.
Oh yeah. Well, we're gonna deep dive and talk about some of the matches on Raw as well. But like I think right, the best draft, as you said, right, is if they really put every single roster in a pool,
Yeah.
and then the opposite show can choose anyone. I really enjoyed. There was this 1 year where they switched the announcers from Raw to SmackDown. Remember that?
Yeah, so they one by one pick. Okay, I pick this one first, you pick and on and on. Also, Jason from Brunei, what's up? Welcome to the show.
Hey, bro.
Remember, if you miss anything, you can always listen to the podcast after. You know, if you don't want to see our face, but you just want to listen to the audio, it's there for you on Spotify and on Apple Podcasts and everywhere else you get your podcasts. Also, do us a favor right now. Hit like on the video. If you haven't already, hit subscribe as well. We appreciate that. Now, okay, back to the draft. And I want to go back to talking about like superstars that may or have the vibe of belonging to one brand. Like, just think about it right now. Chat, you think about it too. Does anybody jump out as a one brand name at this point?
Oh man.
I have one name. I don't know why, but when I think of Bobby Lashley, I think of Raw. Even though he has been on both, right?
He actually got his start in SmackDown. Remember the days when he was fighting Batista, Finlay? But yeah, he's more established as a Raw guy right now for sure.
And plus, because right now he's synonymous with like the Hurt Business. Hurt Business has been a very Raw exclusive thing. So I know I'm jumping ahead, but I think it's a good idea that he stayed on Raw. What they need to do moving forward is like, I know it's easy for us to say lah. It's hard to do in reality, but they need to not move people around so much, or at least give them 3 years, 4 years before you move them to the next brand. If not, okay, the biggest example is freaking Big E. Remember? Like he, after winning the title, he's like, oh, okay. Actually, technically, he won the title on Raw already, and then he got drafted to Raw. It's like, what? Okay, we already saw him on
winning
Raw.
a title on the opposite brand means you straight away transfer over.
Yeah, or whatever it is, right? And then, you know, you have that New Day reunion. And I'm like, I don't know, maybe it's just me being very jaded. Like, you know, you've watched wrestling too long now. You're like, oh, okay, the New Day get back together. Ooh, like I don't care. Like, I actually want to see them break up.
Yeah. They should have just stayed where they were and didn't switch around so much. Remember when the days where, like you said, the established stalwarts of each show?
Yep.
Triple H was always a Raw guy. Undertaker was forever a SmackDown guy for the longest time.
Yeah.
And when they really interacted, like you felt like, whoa, that was a big deal. Like it was very rare for Undertaker to make an appearance on Raw.
Mama Daniel brings up a very good point. Nakamura, King Nakamura, SmackDown face, has never been drafted to Raw. Okay, at least we have one.
Yeah. I would dare say, especially since Roman Reigns became the tribal chief, I think he's very much a SmackDown, or more to say, a Fox exclusive.
Yes, that's true. Well, here's the thing too, like you're talking about characters who have evolved, like their previous versions. It's like a new character already, you know? Like tribal chief Roman Reigns is a SmackDown property. I would say Shield Roman Reigns might be a Raw guy.
Yeah.
So it's not so much about the person portraying the character as is the character lah, you know, being a brand exclusive guy or gal.
I wanted to like, I mean, eventually we're gonna deep dive into every single every single draft pick. But I really wanted to bring up the point of how you debut someone as part of this show, right? and you didn't even give them enough time to like grow on that show. Then suddenly he kinda brought back to the other show. Like my example, bro.
Yeah.
Why the hell is Finn Balor on Raw?
we all know the answer to this. He was just brought back, and you know, as much as we wanted, like, oh, maybe this time they'll give him a chance. Remember when he came back to face off against Roman Reigns? We were like, yeah, he's just there to fill in. Before
I was so excited when he came from NXT to SmackDown because he was never on SmackDown. Like you said, he was always a Raw guy.
Well, he
But
was
always...
what? Remember, he came out in the blue tights for a while. He already did the switch.
Yes. As in, like, the point I was trying to make is like he was always a Raw guy on the main roster. Then he went back to NXT, and then when he came to SmackDown earlier this year, that was the first time he ever was on SmackDown. He never had the time to establish himself.
Are you sure? I feel like he got drafted to SmackDown before his NXT.
Oh no! When he won the Intercontinental title, that was on Raw. When he got injured, it was on Raw. He was only on SmackDown the first time. The blue tights, Finn Balor, was actually only earlier this year.
Okay, somebody check this for me because I somehow remember Finn Balor being on SmackDown before NXT. But somebody please correct me if I'm wrong. Be that as it may, though, it's quite obvious that, you know, Finn Balor is going to be all elite bound once his contract runs up. You can tell there are a few guys there who are just there as good hands, right? Your Finn Balors, your Kevin Owens, your Sami Zayns, your Dolph Ziggler's, Robert Roode. They're there to sort of be inserted or make other people look good, unfortunately.
Yeah, and you talk about people that might be all elite really, really soon. You brought up one name right in that list right there.
Actually, that whole list is all elite, bro.
Okay. We definitely got a deep dive right now and like talk about each round. Let's go, man.
Muhammad Daniel says Finn has been in blue before. So yeah, I distinctly remember him being in blue, and that was a big deal because he was always in red tights on Raw. And then,
do you remember which year, Daniel? Do you remember which feud? Because I can't recall before that.
Yeah, see, his blue brand feud was kind of meh. That's maybe why you forgot about it. That's why, you know, him switching back to Raw, and it's like, you know, we've seen it. Yeah, because if a thing happens over and over again, it's no longer special. It's kind of like, and I'm going to completely sidetrack because I finally watched The Dark Side of the Ring, the Onita episode. Whoa, by the way, that's a really good episode.
I loved it.
Especially if you've never really watched a lot of the like deathmatch type stuff, to learn about how that sort of genesis came to be. It's like, wow. And did you see the finish to Terry Funk Onita?
Yes,
that was what they tried to do in AEW with the exploding ring.
Bro, but they failed.
Yeah. AEW failed because the explosion was shit. This original one, actually, if you think about it, it was, okay, like obviously it's still dangerous, but instead of sparklers, they had a lot of dust, smoke, which makes it look like it exploded. So I'm like, why didn't they just copy that? Why must they put Goldberg sparklers? Make it look like...
And the craziest thing, do you see the dust just exploded out to the audience faces?
Yeah. No, I meant
dramas, yeah.
I wonder if they maybe couldn't do that because, you know, they don't want to like get sued by the audience.
And at that point in time, if you remember, it was done in Daly's place. I think there was some logistical issues.
Well,
but yeah,
like, you know, back in the Wild West of, you know, that era, right? Fuck care lah. You know, people get lung disease from that. They also don't care. Now you do that shit, people breathe in that smoke. They're gonna sue you for all your worth.
Yeah. You know, I really want to deep dive because I really enjoyed the episode. But one thing I want to say, like, quick one before we go to other subjects, is that do you realize who is Jon Moxley's hero?
Onita?
Is this fucking Onita, bro?
Yeah,
you know why?
True.
When I read out about Onita, okay, first of all, the way he dressed looked like Jon Moxley.
Yep.
Secondly, Jon Moxley, and I think Najwan, I know he's not on this chat right now, but he brought it up. His entrance, Onita's entrance was actually Wild Things.
Oh, so everything he does is like an homage lah.
To Onita, yes, because he when he changed to Wild Things, it was during that feud where he fought some Japanese guy, I can't remember what. Apparently, that guy was one of a rival of Onita.
Oh, no wonder. Okay,
So
Rishi
now things make sense, huh?
Yeah, Rishi says that he feels there isn't enough room for much fresh feuds as all the current wrestlers have been drafted to the same brands before, and they probably feuded with each other before. That's true. Div says Finn was in SmackDown 2019 as part of the Superstar Shakeup. There you go.
So that is that one time where there was two drafts on SmackDown and Raw in
Yeah.
2019, and no one cared about that first draft.
Yeah, because like we always talk about, and this kind of ties into the hardcore thing as well, because the more and more, like, you know, like AEW is very guilty of this. Doing so many of these matches makes the match not special anymore.
Yeah.
You keep doing the, like, okay, could this be a solution? You do a draft every 2 years instead of 1 year.
That might be hard. Okay.
Yeah.
Like the reason why I feel 2 years is a bit too long is because you might just like completely overexpose every single feud on one show to the point like people like sick of that. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, you don't have to do the same feuds. There are how many people that they can feud with each other, what? You know what I mean? But I see what you mean, lah, because we have such short attention spans in 2020, or rather in this era, right? It's like, okay, lah, I guess you do need to switch things up. Okay, shall we jump into the results of the
Yes.
draft proper?
Let's go.
Okay, here we go then. WWE Draft, Day 1, Friday, October the 1st on Fox.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't need to follow any particular order, lah. We'll just go in terms of the rounds, okay?
Yep.
Actually, no. Let's go by SmackDown first. SmackDown, okay, so this is what happens on SmackDown. Big E is on Raw, but he was already on Raw for the past few weeks or whatever. No impact.
That's why I say it's so anticlimactic when they talk about the people that stays on the brand.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it was also like, well, yeah, like he won the championship. He's not going to come back to SmackDown and have 2 championships, right?
Yeah,
You know?
Well, we have to talk about the women's title. There's a whole situation over there.
Yeah, well, I mean, before we get to that though, the next draft pick is Roman Reigns staying on SmackDown.
Yeah, which is okay. I accept the fact that they're trying to establish the main pillars of each show, like the main draws of each show.
But see, okay, I believe when they did the show, Roman Reigns was the first one announced, right? They had
Yep.
to play up the whole, yeah, he is the universe, blah, blah, blah.
I think because it was on SmackDown, they started with the SmackDown
Yeah.
pick first.
But the second you did that, it's like, okay, lah, Big E must go to Raw. What? There's no situation where you have 2 championships on one show. That
Yeah,
makes
yeah.
zero sense, right? Okay, then Charlotte Flair gets drafted, well, to SmackDown. So the Raw title comes to SmackDown.
Do you find this shocking?
No, I feel like she needs to move. And I feel like she was getting stale on Raw, and the whole Alexa Bliss thing is over. And for whatever reason, her and Rhea Ripley, Nikki ASH just wasn't working out.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, and I was quite surprised about the whole Charlotte Flair thing, not because like she was still on Raw. Yeah, she is. But I just felt like there was such a good thing going on with Bianca Belair, Becky Lynch, Sasha Banks, and like that feud like hasn't been explored yet. And suddenly now they are like adding a new element to it.
Well, talking about Bianca Belair, we will find out immediately after she gets moved to Raw.
Here's the one thing I don't understand, bro. Like, who is making these decisions? Like, at least they should show. Like, remember last time? I think a year or 2 years ago, they had like the the war room with all the Fox executives, all the UFC.
Now you get Johnny Sins and Sonya Deville.
Cruella Deville.
Yeah, they are just there sort of announcing it, right? Like, yeah, who's making these choices? Is it Stephanie McMahon? Is it Vince? Is it executives? Nobody is really like playing it up anymore. That's why it felt like this draft was like, okay, let's just do it for the sake of doing. You know?
I think they had a GM or they had like some sort of authority figure on both. So they already have 2 authority figures, right? Why not make Adam Pearce Raw, freaking Sonya Deville SmackDown? I mean, like, why not, right?
Yeah. Okay, so you got Charlotte going to SmackDown. Oh, that's hint 1 that Becky's going to Raw. You got Bianca going to Raw, and Bianca is in a feud with Becky currently. It's like, okay, it's quite obvious Becky's going to go over to Raw when Raw happens.
This is what happens, right? When like the the storylines and the drafts are all fixed.
Yeah.
If they're all fixed, right, you know they're gonna do whatever that is convenient for
Correct.
each single storyline.
And also, you know, like, because, okay, maybe this is like, we know it because
Insider a bit,
yeah, we are a bit insider, right? But if Becky is going to move to Raw, then Seth got to go Raw also. Because
You
they're
can't split up
together.
the couples, what? Right? Yeah.
So with Bianca Belair going to Raw, Street Profits also must move. You know, it's like we can add it up in our heads already, just from the same first 4.
Yeah, but I mean, like 10 years ago, WWE was quite douchey. Like, maybe they will purposely split up couples just for the sake of it.
Yeah.
But now very PC already.
Yeah,
bro.
they seem to be very like nice, huh? It's a nicer working environment. Anyway,
Bro,
coming
welfare.
Oh,
Or else
welfare, yeah.
AEW will can it away.
That's why, coming to SmackDown, it's Drew McIntyre.
This is actually a pick that I really, really like.
It is the pick that makes the most sense at this point.
Yeah, he has kind of exhausted every single title feud or rival on Raw. So I think it makes sense. And didn't you enjoy the Survivor Series match between him and Roman Reigns last year?
Yes, and
That is just a teaser.
yeah, that was that match that I think a lot of people were hoping to happen at some point, and now we are actually going to see Drew McIntyre versus Roman Reigns. And like, I mean, you look at Reigns' competition this past year, like, okay, yeah, Brock will be his biggest lah. But like Drew, okay, maybe there's a chance that Drew might be the one who takes the title from him.
Yeah, I mean, take away all the part-timers, John Cena, all aside, right?
Yeah,
He is the most credible main full-time performer that can actually beat Roman Reigns.
Yeah. And it's a match that we haven't seen a lot of. We definitely will want to see. So there you go.
Let's hope, bro, it's not 10 matches in a row and rematches in a row after this.
RK Bro, stay on Raw.
I like that as well.
Yeah.
Because RK Bro very much a Raw property, if you think about it.
Are they getting stale at this point?
I don't think they're getting stale, but I think them fighting AJ and Omos is getting stale.
Okay, yeah, they need to find a new other tag team to mess around with, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Pascal, how you doing, dude? Thanks for dropping by the chat. Jason says actually WWE has been putting couples together in the draft prior to the Thunderdome era. Yeah, recently they have, but like in the in the Ruthless Aggression era, they don't care, yeah?
Yeah, they don't. I don't think the wrestlers even tell the management who are they dating.
Yeah, they're like, oh, keep it on the down low, huh? Okay, The New Day, Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods are coming back to Smackdown.
Oh my god, this is so frustrating, bro.
They just went over to Raw the last year.
I mean, okay,
What?
first of all, are they going to be releasing a new Netflix show with featuring The New Day and Undertaker? You know about that one?
Yeah, apparently it got very bad reviews.
Oh, already they released the...
Yeah, it looks quite dumb to me anyway.
It looks like an arcade game for kids, lah. But the point I brought that up was because, like, why don't they just keep every part of The New Day together so they can promote it instead of like splitting it up again?
I think that's the point, to keep them away from each other so that Big E can go at it on his own. I like the idea, but it's like, it's so purposely done. Oh, Big E is now on Raw, therefore the New Day must go to SmackDown. It's like, oh, okay, it's obvious, you know?
Yeah. But I would argue, right, if they had an authority figure on each show, then it would make storyline sense for them. Like, okay, you get my Big E, okay, fine, I'm going to faster take New Day.
Yeah, I mean, like we said, everything about this year's draft seems like, all right, let's just do it for the sake of doing it and not have, that much effort put in terms of what is believable or not. Edge is going over to Raw.
This would have been very interesting, except for the fact they brought his rival Seth Rollins also to Raw. So it's going to continue.
Yeah, what we talked about it, it's like lazy booking, right? It's like, okay, they are currently in the program, bring them both over to Raw.
As Jim Cornette would say, lazy booking.
Happy Corbin and Madcap Moss. Wow, third round pick.
What?
Amazingly, they stay on SmackDown.
First of all, why are they so high up on the draft pick, bro? Are they gonna push them for the world title or something?
I don't know. Maybe the middle card title, like the IC Championship. But I like that Happy Corbin is now a thing and is, becoming a SmackDown exclusive thing. So, like we talked about just now, right? I feel like they just need to have these characters stay on a certain brand for a bit longer so that when they finally move, then it's a big deal.
Would you say, bro, like you prefer Happy Corbin or actually when he was down out of his luck Corbin?
Okay, to be fair, down out of his luck Corbin wouldn't have worked for that long period of a time. Like, it was funny for a few weeks, but then there needs to be some sort of development, right?
Progression.
So this is the next progression lah. So he's happy, and then Riddick Moss is now Madcap Moss. They're both laughing and being xiao lang and gila, and funnily enough, I don't know why I think of Mojo Rawley. Like, where is Mojo Rawley? He should be part of this group.
Bro,
them, like,
he
ultra hype.
fired a year ago, bro.
I know, but I thought he would have been perfect. Anyway, they stay on SmackDown, which is fine. I'm okay with it. Rhea Ripley and Nikki ASH stay on Raw.
I kind of like that. Their team, yes, Super Brutality is kind of random at first, but just like Team RK Bro, I think they're somehow finding their groove slowly, and I think it might actually bring out more personality in Rhea Ripley.
I'm just worried that they are doing too many odd couple teams. Like, if there's one odd couple team, that's fine, right? But if like 5 teams are odd couple teams, well, then you're just doing the same shit over and over again.
Yeah, that's true. I agree with you. And also Nikki Cross or Nikki ASH as I believe, right? She actually kind of fits more as like a singles competitor, like especially for gimmick.
Sure.
Unless you're gonna make like a superheroine partner in crime lah.
Super Rhea, is it?
No, that will totally kill.
Edison, what's up? Edison says he wants suit-wearing Corbin coming back. Are you sure? Well, he is wearing suits, but expensive suits now.
You want the waiter?
Yeah, the
Corbin?
the Applebee's waiter. Are you sure, bro?
Really?
Tovakin, what's up? Tovakin says there's always up, down, down if you want to see the New Day together. There?
But apparently, unfortunately, no Adam Cole anymore lah on Up Down Down.
Boom. Div, I don't think anyone misses Lone Wolf Corbin.
No.
I miss his song though. I like this song.
Dun, 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 dun,
Yeah.
dun.
Dun, 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 yeah. And then they transition into the King Corbin song, which was, I think, one of the cooler adaptations of a prior theme song.
Oh yeah, I thought that kind of flowed really, really nicely.
Yeah,
But now, bro, this is just some fucking Vegas song.
I'm
Some
upset. I
jazzy
wish
song.
they would have remixed it somehow, but still using the same like tune or chord progression as the previous
If
one.
they didn't make King Corbin such a joke, right? They really made him like a Game of Thrones, like badass, serious king. I think it would have worked, but yeah, they didn't go in that direction, unfortunately.
True. Okay. Oh, by the way, before we carry on with the draft, here's a very good point. Smackdown totally ignored the power of God storyline in Finn versus Roman.
Yeah, a couple of you guys DM us on IG and said like what's up with that storyline being completely ignored. I also have no idea why is it being ignored, bro.
Yeah, lazy booking.
Lazy booking.
Like, didn't a fan camera catch one of the cameramen actually go up and like, unscrew the turnbuckle? So he was obviously the guy who did it, but like, why? See, I don't understand. Why doesn't WWE go with it? Like, oh, there's this fan footage out there. Just fucking make some shit up that Paul Heyman paid that guy. Or just make some shit up. Well, why are you ignoring? So what? It was an accident?
It can even be the perfect way to introduce some guy as like a character or a new player into the game.
Exactly. It could be a wrestler like who's like, oh yeah, I wanted to fuck around with them or whatever.
You know what would be the fucking cool?
What?
Like, just my opinion. They want to bring out someone for NXT, right?
Yeah.
We can reveal Austin Theory. You know what I mean? Like somebody like would have like be very like it doesn't look obvious, but then like, oh yeah, it makes total sense.
Yeah, and he can like, hang in that level of competition and then
Oh
start
my
a feud with Finn Balor.
Bro, something crazy just went to my mind, bro.
What?
Do you remember who was Finn Balor's most recent feud in NXT before he went up?
Karrion Kross?
Karrion Kross not Karrion Kross. I was just thinking in my mind, right? If they wanted to bring up an NXT talent through this very cool way, it could be anyone from Pete Dunne.
Yeah.
It could be Karrion Kross would have been interesting, but then he too obvious already, like his body size.
Karrion Kross would be a better pick than whatever the shit he's doing right now on Raw.
Yeah, man. But yeah, let's do like what happened to all those like cool reveals back in the day where they like really insert someone and it make a lot of sense.
Edison says Dante Chen, part of the bloodline. Boom. There you go. Edison, as much as we love our boy, we gotta give him time to develop a bit, okay? On 205 and on NXT.
Guys, it's the only time you want to watch 205 Live is now when Dante Chen is in the show.
Like, okay.
We'll talk about that.
Like I'm a huge supporter of Traxxas, Dante, right? And all that stuff. But I'm very worried for him at this point. I'm very worried because when I watched his match on 205 Live, like it just was a match on 205 Live. There's no character being developed there. And I'm very worried. Like the commentators are talking about his 3 Ps, passion, precision, and Punteng or whatever the hell.
Punteng.
Whatever actually if you're Punteng it would be funnier. But the problem is it comes across very bland.
No, you're absolutely right. I wanted to bring it up on the podcast as we talk about it. Because when they put up the piece, right? And I actually commented on him because he put up that post and I said like I tagged Singapore Tourism Board in it.
Passion. Precision. Like it seems very
passion made possible.
Yeah, no, bro. Oh my god, that is the perfect like analogy you're drawing. Right, it seems like a Singapore Tourism Board promo that is like super vetted by everybody. Like it's bland,
too manufactured. Yeah, it's very okay. And one thing I tried to listen to, right, wasn't like the match itself. Like I know Dante Che can go in the ring.
Yeah.
He actually had a longer match which actually showcased some of his abilities. But what I was listening to was the crowd's reaction to Dante Chen. Bro, crickets, bro.
Okay, and they did him no favors because the guy he was wrestling is from Florida.
Yeah, then obviously clearly they will support the other guy, right?
Yeah, so it see, that's why like I'm very worried. Like they're not, instead of like, we know he can go in the ring, but I feel like maybe they need to work on his character a little bit more. Who is he other than, we've talked about this. Like being from Japan is not a gimmick. Being from Singapore is not his gimmick. That's just where he's from. But we need to know more than just the 3P, like, you know, like he got 2Ps, like he got PP, and then what's the third P? Like who gives a fuck?
Yeah, if you give him like, okay, you know, now you're giving him a winning streak. Okay, so they give him some cred.
Yeah.
Fine. But they need to build up the story. Like you see the Trey Baxter, for example, freaking lost to Dante Chen, and then next week got a mixed tag team match, and then there is some story there being told.
But bro, we all know that winning streaks mean absolutely jack all to Vince McMahon. He wants to see what's so special about you. What's your gimmick? How can you draw? And Div Royalty actually says something very funny. On the other hand, it's not exciting, but on the other hand, it's really accurate of Singapore's image. Like very bland and safe, right?
Yeah.
Actually,
Is this some sort of like in the know thing that Dante Chen is trying to tell that okay, Singapore very boring, nothing's happening, so I'm just gonna be this very blank character, but it's actually my gimmick. I don't know.
No, I don't think so. I think he's just trying to find give him time, you know?
Yeah.
He's obviously there to learn and to discover his new self, right? Tovakin, no, do not put him in Tian Sha, please.
Okay, you know what? I'm actually, not Tian Sha, but I'm actually very curious to see Dante Chen interact in a backstage segment with other wrestlers.
Yeah.
Because I want to see, like, the best way to know someone's character is to see how he interacts with other people on the roster.
Bro, what if he lets out his inner being and just breaks down the Singlish accent, like, you know, completely 100%. Then somebody gets in his face, hey, Nabe, get the... Your mother.
You know how Asuka, right?
Yeah.
Like when she wrestles, she's actually cursing in Japanese, but no one understands.
Yes.
But like, it will really appreciate it. The Japanese people really appreciate that. Like, just make him just become a freaking Singlish guy.
Yeah.
On WWE, no one will get it except us.
Yeah.
But you tell him to heal.
Yeah, and like, I mean, you know, people might like buy into some of the phrases that, you know, Dante Bing Chen. Oh my god, he steal Cora Jade from Baxter. Actually, they kind of drop hints about that. Like, you know, okay, so the whole Cora Jade Baxter, what's his face? Trey Baxter thing is that they are dating, right? And like Cora Jade was in that one backstage segment, talked about Dante Chen, like, wow, he's quite superhero-ish. And they've brought it up several times, like he looks superhero-ish, whatever that means. Like Nigel McGuinness said it on 205 Live. So I don't know if that's the way they're going. I hope not. Because
I mean, it is kind of a story. Like he is like, this superhero from the East that just comes and everyone's like, so in love with you. I do not know. Maybe that could go down as a comedy route. That could go down as like he's actually a legitimate straight baby face, but he's making all the heels jealous. I do not know. But
I think we are giving them too much credit. They're probably just throwing things out there to see what works.
one thing I find interesting, bro, is like when I look at his social media, and there's of course some of the NXT superstars or NXT talent that's interacting with him, right? One person that's apparently quite close to him is Indy Hartwell, bro.
Oh, okay. They probably work together, around because Indy was on the Australian scene, right? She's from Australia, right?
Indy came to SPW a couple of times, so they kind of know each other.
Yeah.
What if, bro? What? Okay, hear me out. Hear me out. Since Austin Theory really go away to main roster, right? What if bring a new boy toy, Crazy Rich Asian to part of the crazy family?
The
way.
You know what? I would love that. I think if anything, Johnny Gargano would like just working with Dante Traxxas would teach him so much.
You know what's crazy, bro? Johnny Gargano has history with SPW.
Oh, yeah, they're right.
Because in 2014, and I was there, Johnny Gargano was in CC, Kampong Ubi CC, wrestling a match as Johnny Wrestling before he went to NXT. So he definitely would have ties. He would definitely know Traxxas before and seen his growth.
Yeah.
Wouldn't he want to push him?
That's true. That's true, huh? Let's go. Let's book it. That's the way.
Put Dante Chen in the way.
That is the way, bro. And the way rhymes with Nabe. Anyway.
Okay, CC Bay.
CC Bay.
Dante Chen, baby.
Get NXT crowds to start chanting CCB, CCB.
Nah, Bay.
Nah, Bay.
And then
Nah,
the
yeah.
teacher will be like, I am from the North Bay of Singapore. You can call me Nabe.
Oh God, no. Okay, let's move on with the draft then. Let's go. Coming to SmackDown, and this is the first NXT group to come to SmackDown. Hit row. Yeah.
Okay.
What do you think?
Very interesting. I want to bring up a tweet that our man Top Dollar, or as I remember him,
TJ.
the guy that follows all the wrestlers around to find their hidden treasures.
Yeah.
AJ Francis. He put out a tweet in response to some guy who's saying that, oh, now they're gonna be like a manufactured cookie cutter team, blah blah blah. And he apparently implied that Hit Row has never like followed a script to write their promos. They wrote their own promos, and he said that they won't change themselves just because they're on the main roster. So like this implication they're trying to say is that Hit Row has always not been scripted. They write their own stuff, and then being musicians and rappers, I kind of can believe that.
Yeah.
But do you think that will change once they are on SmackDown?
First of all, yes, I agree. I believe that on NXT they were given the freedom to be themselves because it's NXT. They are a little bit more okay lah. Let you discover who you are. On SmackDown, it's gonna be a different thing. First of all, I don't think the writers on SmackDown or any writer can write them, because unless you are like a music producer or rapper like them, you're not going to be able to write shit for them. It'll just sound fucked up, right? Maybe they'll get pointers from the writers. Okay, hit this, hit that. Maybe they have to clear the content with the writers first to vet. But yeah, I'm thinking they can be themselves, but maybe with like within a box, you know what I mean? Like, and it's also horrible PR if, let's say, they represent their culture in that way and then they are told, no, you can't do this, you can't do that. If that gets out, I think it's very bad PR for WWE.
Yeah, and I know for a fact that now that Hit Row is on SmackDown, and I don't know what match they're gonna put on NXT, but clearly Isaiah Scott is gonna lose his title and drop his title, right? Yeah, so that's one thing they have to put in mind. But then once he loses the title, what is Hit Row gonna go for? Are they gonna go for the tag team titles? Are they gonna stay at the IC level and have push Swerve Scott as the main guy? Very interesting possibilities. But I do like the fact that they're on SmackDown.
Yeah, are they gonna be a face or heel? Because remember, they started off as heels on NXT. They got over with the crowd, so they became face.
I'm very, very nervous though. Because in my opinion, the only one that can work in that team is Isaiah Scott.
Yeah, the rest are still green.
Very green, and nothing against that. I'm sure they will come good with more seasoning.
Yeah.
But didn't you? I watched that match. What's her name? BFAB.
BFAB.
Against the Electra girl.
Yeah, Electra Lopez. It's like Carmen Electra and Jennifer Lopez. They're like, who are the two most famous like Latina names we can put together? Nah, boom.
Bro, as long as it's not Shakira, can already. That was too obvious.
Yeah.
No, but the problem is those two people really showed off how green they were.
Yeah.
I don't know which one is more green, them or Jade Cargill on Rampage. So,
but all green.
Yeah, so like then now you're pushing them on SmackDown. Are you sure that's safe?
See, that's the thing. And looking at the draft, right, there are a lot of green folk coming up to the main roster, okay? So that is very worrisome. I think it has to do with Vince McMahon and Brother Love, Bruce Pritchard being in charge of NXT now and going, you know what? Doesn't matter if they are green. We just put them in promo packages and have very, very short matches. They don't care.
Yeah, or maybe they see them like, green doesn't really matter, but their gimmick, I can see that. I can see it working on the main roster. Okay, let's put them on the main roster first.
I think Hit Row is a very main roster gimmick, and I think it will succeed as long as they don't like overdo it and every week come out to a rap or a cipher. Okay, no, you need to do special like occasions. That one.
Hit Row has essentially taken over the spot that Street Profits left behind. On SmackDown.
Well, I mean, they're kind of different than Street Profits. They're actually like writing raps instead of just being super hype.
Yeah.
So they, to me, Hit Row are different. They are not like your MSKs and your Street Profits and your New Day, who are just very hype.
I think that's what maybe perhaps WWE is trying to go for, is trying to put more variety and like really have distinct characters.
Yeah.
I just hope that with this new NXT 2.0, someone who has a gimmick on NXT that actually got over is not going to be teared down when they go to the main roster. Let's hope that's not the case.
Yep. Raw drafts Keith Bearcat Lee.
Speaking of gimmicks that's being changed, Keith Lee. Okay, the thing about Keith Lee is, yes, Bearcat is random and weird, but I know of Bearcat. There was a wrestler back in the day, first black wrestler who actually used that nickname Bearcat. So if there's a way to pay homage, cool. Are they going to completely ignore his limitless gimmick or what?
I guess so, because to be honest, that limitless gimmick is dead in the water lah. It was an NXT thing.
No more bask in his glory anymore?
No more Baskin. Actually, bask in his glory will work for him as a heel, right? But I don't know what this Bearcat gimmick is supposed to be. Face, heel? Because if he's trying to pay homage, then he should be a face, right?
And they never explain why is he called Bearcat.
Yeah, or is he just boring the name?
But if I were to make an assumption, is that the fact that he's a bear and a cat, he is strong but agile, maybe, Keith Lee.
Maybe, there you go.
I mean, I'm just trying to make sense, trying to make a sandwich out of shit, bro.
Yeah. It's still a shit sandwich. Still tastes like, shit. Anyway, on Smackdown, and this is a weird one, okay? The Smackdown drafts Naomi?
Naomi?
Yeah.
Oh, no. I don't think it's weird.
But, okay, I remember the scene too. Didn't, Sonya Deville give Johnny Sins the side eye when that draft pick happened? Why the hell did you pick this bitch?
Sonya Deville said that this definitely wasn't my choice, something like that.
Yeah. Okay, wouldn't it be better if nobody picked Naomi and she was a free agent? Then you could really play up the nobody cares about her angle.
I only want one payoff for Naomi. She needs to join the bloodline.
Yes, be the one. I don't really care that she got drafted.
I don't like her glow anymore. I think her glow was 3 years old already.
Yeah. So is it a wasted pick?
No, okay. Fuck, man. I think Naomi, if she ditched the glow, stop being all dancey kind of stuff, being all that glow shit.
Yeah.
And really just to stick it to Sonya Deville, gets recruited by the bloodline, and then she becomes this just complete badass black woman who's gonna get shit done, and she dresses in all black and super hood gangster kind of style. And I think that will give her an edge and make her more serious, and actually can put her all the way to title contendership, in my opinion. Yeah,
and because she's part of the bloodline, it makes sense, right? Yeah, that's a group of all champions.
Yeah, why not? Give a girl a spot in one of the best storyline factions in WWE right now.
You see, the problem is now she's a face and she's feuding with a semi-heel authority figure who's not even a wrestler. So where's the payoff here? Are you building towards Sonya Deville making it back into the ring as a heel?
Or right now Sonya Deville is kind of acting heelish towards Naomi, right? Eventually turn Naomi into the dark side to fall in line and put her with the bloodline. In my opinion, if that is where they want to bring Sonya Deville as a heel going forward. But if they want to make Sonya Deville as a face, I think it's even better, because what if Naomi just completely loses frustration and just beats the hell out of Sonya Deville and injures her or whatever it is, and she just embraced this dark new personality.
Whatever it is, they need to pay it off soon, because it's getting a bit it's not to the point where I want to see what happens next week. It's okay, I don't care anymore.
Remember a couple of months ago, I think earlier this year, where the crowd actually got behind Naomi and trended her online or something? Yeah, so I know the audience does love Naomi. Even with her crappy gimmick, right? They do love her as a wrestler. So I think she just needs a change, and the crowd will definitely be behind regardless whether she's a face or heel.
Right. Okay, let's move on then. Ray and Dominic Mysterio are going to Raw.
And since Seth Rollins is going to Raw, probably gonna have an eye versus eye match.
Horror show again. At this point, it's okay lah, they're just getting reps for Dominic, is it? And just letting him get matches. He hasn't been in a significant storyline in a while.
You know what's crazy? Wasn't it this time last year where they were having matches on Raw with Seth Rollins.
Exactly.
So again, their adventure on SmackDown lasted less than a year.
Yeah. So it doesn't feel like a big special thing that they are going to Raw because it's like, oh, haven't we already seen this?
Remember when they moved wholesale the entire angle?
Yeah.
The drama was from Raw then moved to SmackDown.
Yeah. It's like, well, I just moved the whole damn angle over there. The Buddy Murphy also went and then he got released.
Yeah, so sad. They basically they just wholesale. They
Yep.
don't even have to think about it again. Never mind, just move the entire storyline.
Copy from one column, paste the other column. Done. Jeff Hardy moving to SmackDown. Nobody cares.
I do.
Okay, go ahead. Tell me why.
I do because first of all, if you watch Raw today, which was really really funny, I'm gonna post it on IG later.
Okay.
Austin Theory came and interrupted a US title match between Jeff Hardy and Damien Priest. Obviously, Damien Priest won. So this is probably like his song for Jeff Hardy before he goes to SmackDown. But Austin Theory came in and asked Jeff Hardy, I think like almost like, oh, you're my hero like that. Can I take a selfie with you in the ring? So he took a selfie. Then after took a selfie, he walked away, then turned around and freaking clothesline him and did his finisher on Jeff Hardy.
Right.
And the funniest part was I checked Instagram right after. He actually posted that photo of him taking a selfie with Jeff Hardy. And then the next photo is him, Jeff Hardy on the ground like dead and like pingsan already. Then he also take another selfie. And then the caption was finally got to take a selfie with my hero Jeff Hardy.
That's funny. That's so funny. Wait, hold on. So Austin Theory, was he playing up his himbo character or was he a different character?
He was a bit of a himbo, but there was an edge to him.
Okay, so an edgy himbo,
He was a
e-boy himbo.
yeah.
What?
It's like a himbo heel.
Okay. Yeah, it's interesting to see where he'll go because let's not forget he was on a WrestleMania card at 1 year. Okay, remember?
Yeah, last year. Yeah, of course.
During the pandemic, he was on WrestleMania and then he got demoted back to NXT. Now he's back, and which leads us to talking about him being drafted to Raw.
One interesting statistic I want to say is that he is 24 years old. The same year Randy Orton, when he was 24, he won the world title.
Oh.
And bro, here's the very interesting link that I want to bring up to you, to your attention. Randy Orton put out on social media that he actually gave his blessing to Austin Theory to actually use the cutter as one of his signature moves.
As in the RKO?
He said like you can use the cutter.
Oh.
But I think Randy really sees a lot of similarities in Austin Theory with him as a young guy. And now that Team RK Bro is on Raw, could we be seeing some rub that he might be getting?
Actually, that would be a pretty cool storyline, wouldn't it? Somehow they get together in a like a 3-person tag, and then they form like an alliance. But then like Randy is gonna pick which one to be successor, sort of a deal. Like he spent all this time with Riddle, but now this Austin Theory reminds him so much of himself, and like that could lead to a 3-way feud. Both young guys trying to feud for Randy's blessing.
Affection.
Yeah.
That would be super cool. Like if you think about it, wouldn't Randy like in all his like arrogance and all that would think like I'd rather choose a worthy successor in Austin Theory than Riddle.
Yeah.
This might be the perfect way, like once Team RK-Bro has run its course, for the eventual heel turn and betrayal of Riddle to be done by Randy, and he aligns with Austin Theory, and Austin Theory and Riddle can feud like you said. I think that would be great in terms of pushing younger talent as well.
Yeah, and plus you get the rub from Randy Orton.
Yeah, so I believe I know it's hard right now because the roster is kind of changing. There's a lot of new faces.
Yeah.
The only way to make them kind of used to the audience or get the audience connected with them is if they work with familiar faces. So like Omos with AJ Styles. Now you look at Omos, you don't think of him like, who the hell is this guy? You're like, oh yeah, AJ Styles, personal colossus. Like you kind of make that connection.
And that's why Commander Aziz and Apollo Crews not working because both are not high up there.
Oh my god. Okay, so Commander Aziz and Apollo Crews apparently moved to Raw.
Well, we're going to talk about the additional draft picks that were announced on Talking Smack in a second, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so again, since you didn't watch Raw, you'll be very glad to know where they are placed on the level of priority on Raw.
Okay.
They were in the same segment as Reggie trying to avoid the 24/7 title, but So when Reggie was escaping from the typical group of people, right, he bumped into Commander Aziz and Apollo Crews. So we were like, oh, is Apollo Crews gonna challenge for the title or something? But you know what? Apollo Crews looked at the title, and like Reggie was scared, right? Like, is he gonna attack him? He just laughed. He's like, yeah, please, nice to see you again, Reggie. Please go ahead. So he basically let them escape. So it's almost, I don't know what this means, but it's almost as if he's implying that, yeah, this title is beneath me. And he and Commander Aziz shared like a laugh, like a smirk with each other.
Okay. Yeah,
and it could, like, oh, Raw is like interesting, very exciting, this Raw.
It could mean that, or it could just be sowing the seeds of a future title feud with Reggie, which nobody fucking wants to see.
Nobody wants to see that.
Jason says, dream match, Omos versus Commander Aziz, where no one takes a bump.
Didn't they have that? Didn't they do that in was it Raw Underground? Did they have a match of Raw Underground? I can't remember.
Do you all remember Raw Underground for all like 3 weeks, 4 weeks? It was a thing.
Yeah. Oh my god. I know, bro. Battle of the Green Dot, right? Between the Green Giants, Aziz versus Omos for the 24/7 title.
Oh my god, what a shit show. Anyway, let's talk about these additional draft picks. So Nia Jax stays on Raw to injure people. Drake Mavericks on Raw. Reggie's on Raw, obviously 24/7. Zelina Vega's on Raw now.
Interesting.
Hopefully they find something for her to do because she was doing nothing on SmackDown. Akira Tozawa stays on Raw. Alpha Academy. Okay, Otis and Chad Gable move to Raw.
A couple of interesting things and observations. It's clear that they're going to keep the 24/7 title division, the whole division on Raw. That's one thing. Alpha Academy on Raw, I actually think that's a good move because they have clearly challenged for the SmackDown titles a couple of times.
Yep.
They win one time? I can't remember anymore.
can't remember. They were contenders though, but unfortunately, I feel like they are just there to replace...
Make up the numbers, right?
Yeah, for the tag teams that do move to SmackDown, they are going to be like the lower tier tag team. They are involved here and there once in a while, but never really getting a shot. That's what I feel.
And also another interesting thing is now we have two Gables on Raw.
Oh, okay, yeah, we'll get to the other Gable later. But R-Truth stays on Raw. Morrison, Drip God, Johnny Drip is on Raw. Doudrop is on Raw. T-Bar is on Raw. They are splitting up T-Bar and Mace, by the way.
Yeah.
Woo, who gives a fuck? And Apollo Crews and Commander Aziz. Now, on to SmackDown. Aaliyah is on SmackDown.
Aaliyah?
As in NXT's
no.
Aaliyah.
Okay, I thought Aaliyah Mysterio just made her return.
No. NXT's Aaliyah, I guess.
Aaliyah, very interesting because I feel like she has just been in this developmental hell for how many years?
But she's still green SF.
Yeah, it's like, okay, she never got good.
She never got good. She never got over as a character, and now she's on SmackDown. Like,
bro, this pushes my theory, right? That like Vince McMahon, Bruce Prichard was like, you know what? I'm just gonna flush out all these people that has been in development for so long. Just throw them on the main roster, see whether they survive or not. If they suck, then just fire them afterwards.
Oh my god, you're probably right. Which is quite scary, right? Okay, Tony Storm, SmackDown. Like, what has Tony Storm even done ever since debuting on SmackDown?
Sad.
Right,
Yeah.
and we know how talented she is, right? Drew Gulak finally is leaving the Raw 24/7 title scene. And going to SmackDown.
He's going to there's no title to contend with. I don't think he's even IC level as well.
205 Live, here we go. Mace is on SmackDown, as we talked about. Hopefully they repackage him. And Mustafa Ali and Mansoor here to make up the tag team division.
Kind of interesting, but I kind of actually like Mansoor and Ali. Like they seem to have this very whimsical babyface vibe.
Well, yeah, exactly. It's the odd couple thing again, which we've talked about. They've used the odd couple pairing several times in the tag team division. So it's like, are they running out of ideas?
But they actually have the ability to look like a synchronized tag team because both of them can do high flying stuff. They both are Middle Eastern, ethnicities. Like they can look presented together, and like I don't know about you, but like doesn't Mansoor look like the definition of Aladdin? If someone casted him as Aladdin, I think he perfects. He got a hair, got a face, got a smile.
Well, you know they're going to Saudi Arabia. He's going to be like highly featured. So Mustafa Ali and Mansoor.
Bro, I just thought of something, bro.
What?
You know all these years, right, when they push Mansoor like to win some Royal Rumble and all that kind of stuff, like it's like fucking out of nowhere. Like only once a year he gets pushed.
Yeah.
Finally, he goes to Crown Jewel with an actual storyline, bro.
Yeah.
Thank gosh.
Oh,
so there's progression there.
Actually, do you think maybe this push of Mansoor only started because they realized, okay, we're gonna sign the Crown Jewel contract already. Come, faster push him. And this time we know in advance by like a month, so we start pushing him, so it doesn't seem out of place.
Okay, only if they win the SmackDown titles on the first night, then I know that it's a complete push.
Bro, they win the SmackDown titles in Saudi Arabia. How about that? Over the Usos.
And beat the Usos, bro. Yeah, very much realistic right there. Okay, one thing I want to say though, I would love the split of T-Bar and Mace only if they bring back Dominic Dijakovic.
Yeah.
Because like he and the fact is he's on Raw.
Yep.
Keith Lee's on Raw.
Oh shit! Bearcat versus Dominic.
Let them just kill each other and have banger matches.
Okay, but you know they can't do that on the main roster. They are not allowed to, right?
But come on, like you literally have like you can literally elevate both of them and bring them to at least mid-card title relevancy, right?
Yeah. Meanwhile, you have Mace on SmackDown. I wonder if he'll just be like, okay, you know what? Actually, my name is Dio Madden. I was the Raw announcer, but I gave up that job to be in Retribution, and look where that brought me.
I feel bad for him because he actually looks cool.
Yeah.
With the mask, he got the size and everything. Maybe he's green. So
yeah. Okay, let's move on to the draft picks that happened today on WWE Raw, right?
Yep.
And this time around, okay, is there a supplemental additional draft or no? Because I only see 6 rounds.
Well, apparently there is nothing on the WWE Network as well,
okay.
or the WWE.com. So I think the rest are not really addressed.
This is it lah. So here we go then. All right. Coming to Raw, like we talked about, like you could foreshadow this when Seth Rollins went to Raw, when Charlotte got swapped to SmackDown. Obviously, if one title goes one way, the other title has to come the other way. Becky Lynch is now on Raw.
Becky Lynch is now on Raw as the SmackDown Women's Champion. How do you explain that, bro?
They've done it before. What? They just swapped the titles, They've
so
done it
are they
before.
gonna like pass each other the title around?
Yeah. They were like, okay, you take the Raw title, I take the SmackDown title. It makes sense. All right, easy to see. This year, everything is about let's make it easy. No like weird controversies and weird odd shit.
I heard a rumor, bro, and I don't know whether this is right, or whether this is accurate, but I want to hear your thoughts on if this is an actual thing that's gonna happen.
Okay.
They are gonna do a fatal 4-way winner takes all women's championship match on Survivor Series.
For what?
Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, Bianca Belair, Sasha Banks.
Yeah.
So Survivor Series is gonna be clearly a battle of the brands, right? So instead of like the most realistic way, which is to swap the titles between the two champions, they're actually gonna put all of them in a fatal 4-way, and both titles is up for grabs. And they might be pushing it as a double champ again.
What? Okay.
I do not know whether this is an actual thing, but this is something I read on Cage Side Nets. And I believe the reason why they're doing that is they kind of want to solidify that to make the women's title, the double champ thing, like a floating title.
Huh?
Yeah, I know.
I'm so confused right now.
I'm confused why they thought that winner takes all should happen on Survivor Series. Yeah, it makes sense, but like why they went with this decision, or whether this decision is really what they're gonna do. Because if you think about it, Charlotte Flair got no contenders now that she's on SmackDown.
Right. Well, she got Sasha Banks.
Yeah, unless they revisit Sasha Banks and Charlotte Flair, which they've done millions of times back in 2016. But I believe that this will make the most sense because Sasha Banks still has a reason to pick a fight with Becky Lynch and Bianca Belair.
Right. Be that as it may, though. I just found out that there is a supplementary draft on Raw Talk. I think it just happened. Like literally just happened. Yeah, it did. So yeah, that's why I was like Googling. So okay, we'll take a look at that in a bit.
Okay, let us run through the draft rounds and we can talk about the supplementary draft as well.
Usos stay on SmackDown. No surprise there. You got to keep the bloodline together.
I'm surprised that there's no storyline continuation of Brock Lesnar coming on Raw because he said that he was a free agent.
Yep.
And didn't Roman Reigns tell the Usos if they didn't go on SmackDown to leave Paul Heyman for dead?
Yeah. So
there wasn't much continuation about that on Raw, which I find quite surprising.
No lah, like we said, like everything has to be very simple and fit in very nicely to their plans.
Perhaps.
Bobby Lashley stays on Raw, like we said, makes sense because we need the Hurt Business to stay, right?
And we need Bobby Lashley to fight Goldberg at Crown Jewel.
At least it's no holds barred match, right?
Yes, apparently. Yeah, so they announced that it's no holds barred, and they're gonna say that he's gonna kill Gage on Crown Jewel.
Oh God. Okay, sure. Whatever. At least this stipulation can hide the fact that Goldberg can't go anymore, and won't.
And you know what this does as well?
Yeah.
They can allow Hurt Business to come back to take bumps for Bobby Lashley and like cause all the schmoz on Crown Jewel. So at least it's gonna be not a boring, slow plodding match.
I just hope that Sundberg doesn't get involved and like freaking make Cedric Alexander or Shelton Benjamin look like shit.
You hear it here first, bro. Sundberg is gonna debut in Saudi Mania all ripped and jacked.
Oh my God.
And ready to do spears everywhere, bro.
And Jack Hammer, Cedric Alexander. Fuck lah.
And Cedric Alexander is gonna sell the shit out of. He's just gonna like land spike on his head. He's gonna bounce 3 times.
Irvin says beat up Sundberg some more. I think nobody likes Sundbergs, yeah. Actually, I'm curious as to whether the Saudi Arabia crowd is gonna cheer or boo Goldberg.
But so far, all the times that he's been in Saudi Arabia, he gets cheered like a hero.
Yeah.
So maybe this is where Goldberg gets his revenge and wins against Lashley.
And he gets cheered in the process.
Yeah, you have to understand, Saudi Arabia, bro, they are behind by at least 2 generations.
Fuck lah.
So
bro.
they will support the wrestlers who was big in the 90s. You have to understand that.
There you go. Nashwan, how you doing, by the way? It's good to see you. Sasha Banks stays on SmackDown and probably will challenge Charlotte Flair like we talked about. Seth Rollins moves to Raw. We've talked about that as well. They wholesale moved the feud over. So, last week Seth was creeping around Edge's house, much like how Edge was creeping around John Cena's house. Did you like the shout out to the neighbors, i.e. Dax and Cash?
Yeah, I think this is the closest WWE can acknowledge AEW without making it too obvious. Though, right, I gotta say, Edge has a really nice house, bro.
Oh, yeah, he does.
Middle of nowhere, never locked his door. Yeah, it was quite funny.
Nice and homely. King Nakamura and Rick Boogs stay on SmackDown. As they should, yeah.
Yeah, SmackDown exclusive all the way.
Yeah, Damien Priest. Okay, I would love for Damien Priest to stay a Raw exclusive for a few years so that when he finally does go to SmackDown, it's a big deal. So Damien Priest stays on Raw. Shamus goes over to SmackDown.
Interesting. Shamus has done everything that he needs to do on Raw, but very, very interesting, bro, in my opinion, the fact that he went on SmackDown, because 2 of his most recent rivals also went to SmackDown. Jeff Hardy and Drew McIntyre.
But bro, didn't he just come from SmackDown? I'm remembering, like, you talk about his feud with Jeff. Wasn't that on SmackDown? Where he drunk Jeff, remember, somebody ran over somebody with a car.
That was on SmackDown, yeah.
Some bullshit so that was just on SmackDown, so like they're back.
Yeah, I tell you, if you don't follow WWE for a couple of years, you will really miss a lot.
Yeah, exactly right. Forbidden handphone. AJ Styles and Omar stay on Raw. I like that.
I like that Priest and AJ Omar's Team Akira are all like very Raw staples, and they're keeping them.
Yeah.
One thing I want to say about Seth Rollins, bro. Okay, after he goes through all this like nonsense with Edge, right, and they finally wrap it up, I think right, Seth is ready to go back to the world title contendership, and he will make a great heel challenger for Big E.
Yes. Oh my God, you're right. And he could mind game the shit out of Big E. And
he's a visionary of drip.
Yeah. And watching his whole interview on the Stone Cold Broken Skull sessions, I was like, I get him. Like, I get like where he's coming from, like what kind of a creative he is and stuff like that. So
my favorite thing or takeaway from that episode, right, is the fact that he also hated the finish to the Fiend match, and he also wanted to kill or throttle Vince McMahon for what they did.
Jason says, can Sheamus finally win the IC title? He needs it to complete the Grand Slam. Oh, maybe that's why he's moving. And actually, that was the first feud I thought of, Sheamus versus King Nakamura.
I think that would be really, really cool. And I believe Sheamus is at the mid-card level, for sure. But if he wins the IC title, I think that makes a great storyline as well.
And then he can feud with Rick Boogs, thus elevating Rick Boogs.
And also, before we move on from the Seth Rollins situation, right? Imagine, bro, Seth Rollins wins the title from Big E and becomes a heel champion. Imagine on top of that, Becky Lynch is a heel women's champion. Both of them will rule Raw, but as heels this time around. What do you think about that?
Then you could have Seth and Becky with their titles versus Edge and Beth Phoenix.
On this day, I'll
and
say clearly.
and do the exact same match they did with Baron Corbin and Lacey Evans, both titles on the line. Remember that?
Oh yeah, no. Okay. Or even better, they could have a feud with Bianca Belair and the Street Profits.
Then you need one like random tag guy. Who's the random tag guy?
To be part of Seth Rollins' visionary drip cord.
Yeah, cannot that doesn't work.
How about Austin Theory? Did Austin Theory wasn't he part of like the freaking that group that they had for a very short time?
I don't even remember what the group was already.
With Seth Rollins and the two AOP, remember?
Oh my god, yeah, you're right. What was that already?
I forgot. That was when he first became the Messiah.
Yeah. Oh, let's not forget as well. Yeah, a very good point Irvin brought up. There's the new King of the Ring and the Queen's Crown. To be done. I'm excited.
From what I heard, they're gonna have qualifying matches throughout the next couple of weeks of Raw and SmackDown.
Yeah.
And culminate in Crown Jewel.
Oh. Okay, never mind. I'm not excited already. Fuck this.
Okay. But right, if you think about it, right, aesthetically and thematically, it kind of makes sense. Wouldn't it make sense for the King of the Ring and the Queen's Crown to happen at Crown Jewel?
Yeah, it makes sense. But okay, what are the stakes? What are you winning as the king? Do you just get a title, the king?
Obviously the best time of being King of the Ring was when the winner got a one-off title contendership lah.
Yeah. So okay, like if we've established in the WWE canon that you can just beat up a guy, steal his crown to earn a crown title shot, i.e. Corbin and Nakamura, remember?
Yeah.
Like, you know how King Nakamura became, he didn't win King of the Ring. He just beat up Corbin, took his crown, and then they traded it for a few weeks, and then they had a match for the crown, which makes no sense because that's not an actual title.
So bro, my question is, if King Nakamura is still the king,
yeah.
So after King of the Ring, does he still remain the king, or is he gonna fight the King of the Ring for the title of the king?
and if King Nakamura is no longer king, does Rick Boogs hang out with him? Because that's his whole gimmick, that he's like King Nakamura, you know, like he's there to
be the court jester, right?
Court jester of the king. So does he go and perform for another king? Like what the?
So clearly, my problem in this whole situation is how many kings are there in WWE, and how can there be multiple kings ruling the same kingdom? And if that is the case, shouldn't there have been multiple kings on different shows?
Okay, so if there's a king of SmackDown, there must be a king of Raw. Therefore, Mr. Young says the king of the ring this year will be a Raw superstar.
Bro, we just went through a lot of king puns, huh?
It's bullshit lah, bullshit. Yeah. Or what if Rick Boogs wins the King of the Ring and they are the kings? They become the kings tag team.
Very interesting, bro. Very interesting.
Also, Irvin says Triple H is also the king. He's the king of kings. So is
he? Might as well make the special commissioner of this whole tournament Jerry the King Lawler.
Oh yeah, exactly. And then bring back who to be guest analyst? King Booker.
Hey bro, I tell you bro, they have so many kings. This whole kingdom diluted already.
Yeah. See, that's the other thing, right? You do too many of one thing, it's gonna be like, okay, this is just bullshit.
And it's held in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, bro, with the actual crown prince in attendance. Wow, this is perfect.
Jason says, isn't WWE crowning someone else as king and queen in Saudi Arabia? Might that spur negative local fan reaction?
Is it a cultural thing?
I don't think so lah. I think they understand that this is just, you know, for show thing.
I did joke that they follow their wrestlers from 2 generations ago, but I don't think they are that backward, guys.
Rishi brings out a very good point, by the way. There is also, we forgot one more.
What?
Kofi Kingston.
SOS, I hear the thunder.
Boom, boom, boom. Can you imagine if Kofi Kingston wins this actually, and then they make this a running joke? Kofi Kingston, he's been a king all this time.
Oh no, but since you brought that up, a lot of people has heard on social media that Xavier Woods has been he has been petitioning to become the King of the Ring. That was one of the things that he always wanted to bring back this year. Like he said, he was one of the biggest proponents of bringing back the King of the Ring as a tournament.
Hello, he push it doesn't mean he will win it. Okay, a lot of people push for things.
No, but the thing is, like, he actually made a groundswell campaign on social media, and there's a lot of like trends, hashtags of like Xavier Woods for King of the Ring.
Yeah, but let's face it, in recent time, the King of the Ring tournament hasn't had the cachet it used to have. Remember when Bret Hart won King of the Ring? It was like, okay, this is your next guy or gal. This is the next contender. Now it's just, you just win a title of King, which means absolute jack squat.
Okay, let's try. Okay, you have brought up a great valid point because I can't even name you like 3 King of the Rings from the recent years.
Yeah.
But if you had a choice to choose the King of the Ring and the Queen's Crown winner for each tournament, who would you choose and why?
I mean, the Queen, can you imagine if the whole feud between Sasha Banks and Charlotte Flair starts because Sasha won the Queen's crown, and then Charlotte's like, but I'm the Queen.
Yeah, that would be interesting. That's like an inbuilt feud.
But
So
I mean,
Sasha Banks is a choice for you.
yeah, technically that feud is already going to happen anyway because it's a title feud, so you don't need that extra thing. So it could be somebody else, like maybe even a Zelina Vega to Hotshot or Queen Doudrop.
Yeah, she would need it. I would give you a very interesting challenger or someone that I would push to be the Queen's Crown winner. How about the Queen of Spades herself, Shayna Baszler?
Oh my god, another queen! What about the Empress?
Oh my god, yeah, the Empress.
We got empresses, we got queens, we got
Goddesses.
Queen
Oh my
Eva.
God, yeah.
Oh god.
No one cares about her, but never mind.
You know
For
what?
me-
If anything, right now it's quite open because, like I said, nobody honestly gives a flying fuck if you have the title of king or queen. It's not a title. It's not money in the bank. It literally means very little, and it seems like they're just doing it for the sake of the Saudi Arabia Crown Jewel event. That's it. And as we know, Crown Jewel is not canon.
Well, if I had a choice to push like my King of the Ring, I mean, of course, I chose Shayna Baszler as the Queen, right?
Yeah.
I would still want to go with like the ethos of the original King of the Ring, where they had to push like a guy who is like not there yet as a main eventer, and give him the rub. One guy I am so disappointed what WWE has done with him ever since his big WrestleMania coming out party, Cesaro, bro.
Oh, King Cesaro.
Yeah, Cesaro definitely deserves, because I've seen him, especially on the WWE live events. He's always working the main events with like the Finn Balor's and Drew McIntyre's. So I think he will definitely make a great, and he's not doing anything right now, so might as well give him that crown.
Vince says King Riddle would be so funny.
Bruh.
Actually.
He will call him now, bro, Your Highness.
Oh my god, Your Highness. Ooh, what about the Demon King?
Oh yeah, that's great, bro. Demon King, I think will be damn dope. Finn Balor, or someone who has King on his Instagram handle, bro.
Who?
King Ricochet.
Oh yeah, no, he no, that's not gonna happen. I'm sorry. As much as we love him, it's not gonna friggin'
Remember that one time
happen.
he challenged Brock Lesnar for the title at Saudi Arabia?
Oh yeah, like okay, sure, you go, bro. What about if this announcer comes out of retirement, bro? And he has some bad news.
King Barrett.
Jason, that one's for you. Shadow, how you doing, dude? What's up? Thanks for joining the chat here.
We are talking about King of the Ring and Queen's Crown tournament, bro.
Irvin says, why suddenly I'm hyped for King of the Ring?
Bro, the only one that gave you the hype is just us. Right? No one else is hype about
just
it.
because we're kind of making fun of it, to be honest, right? We are like, is anyone really taking this seriously? It's a crown jewel thing for crying out loud.
But like I said, if those title or those challenges that we brought forward were the ones given the push, I mean, I will be more than happy for them, I guess.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on with the draft then. Smackdown gets Shayna Baszler. She needs the move, and she gets away from Nia Jax, finally, at least. And as we've seen in the past few weeks, she's gone back to being the old NXT Shayna Baszler, as in breaking everybody's arm.
Yeah, and that's the best Shayna Baszler. I think that's how she should have been pushed from day one.
Kevin Owens is coming to Raw.
Bro, if you watch Raw, his first segment on Raw and he came back was to do what or not, bro?
What?
He stunned Akira Tozawa. He is clearly going to AEW, bro.
Yeah. Kevin Steen. Yeah.
You know what I think is gonna happen to him?
What?
He's going to go to AEW. He's gonna win the inaugural Owen Hart Cup.
Oh my god, that would be amazing. But does it line up with, because how many months does he have left plus the 90-day clause?
If I'm not wrong, his contract comes up in December or early January, and the Owen Hart Cup is only going to start next year.
Oh.
And so I believe we know what would be an awesome finale. Kevin Steen versus Chris Jericho for the Owen Hart Cup.
Oh my god, that would be amazing. Okay,
That
like
would
maybe
be
not
dope.
Chris lah. I mean, Chris is like,
Because I would say Chris Jericho would make a lot of sense was because he was actually the one that pushed for the Mata Hart connection. Because remember he interviewed Mata Hart for Dark Side of the Ring.
yeah. No, I think like, you know, if you're going to do something like this, at least use it to push younger talent. Chris Jericho has done it all already. He doesn't need to be there. Maybe he can be a guest ring announcer, guest friggin' commentator. Well, I don't know about that. Guest ref, but definitely not a competitor.
Yeah, fair enough. I see where you're coming from, but I would definitely argue that they should have a face as the first inaugural winner. Come on, like it's a feel-good tournament, right?
Sure, Kevin Steen. There you go.
Yeah, Kevin Steen would make a lot of sense. So yeah, instead of him stunning Akira Tozawa, just put him out of his misery, bring him to AEW.
Oh no, they're just gonna hold him forever so he doesn't show up on AEW. Then, okay, to me, this is the biggest announcement for SmackDown. Like, they really have bolstered their women's division with this pick, ladies and gentlemen, coming to SmackDown from NXT, Xia Li.
Hey bro, wait. First of all, is it just Xia Li or is it with Tian Sha?
No, it's just Xia Li because Tian Sha has still been on NXT. Like, Boa is having matches, shit matches, right?
So Mei Ying is this remember when there was a time where all of us were super excited to know what happens when Mei Ying debuts?
Yeah, and then
That ship has sailed.
And not only that, I feel bad for Mei Ying, who has to put on all that goddamn makeup and that entire outfit just for a few minutes of bullshit.
Yeah, man. But we don't even know who the hell is behind the Mei Ying mask, bro.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's Mei Ying. Okay, the fucking Xia Li showing up on SmackDown, right? Like, and we've talked about this. Like, what is up with all these green talents that didn't get over on NXT being pulled up? Like, do they really think, like, okay, the only time this has worked is with Elias. Elias didn't, for whatever reason, was a gimmick that didn't work on NXT.
NXT, yeah.
But when you put it on Raw, boom.
He got so over, yeah.
Super over.
Another girl, Alexa Bliss, wasn't doing much on NXT.
Yeah.
She wasn't contending for titles, but when she went to WWE, she did really, really good. So who knows? Really, right?
But here's the thing: with those guys, at least they were decent workers. I have not seen a single Xia Li match where she didn't botch something.
Bro, I'm very curious, bro. Xia Li is brought to the main roster, right, bro? A lot of people are trying to put this comparison that her being this badass with like an Asuka, right?
Yeah.
So where is Asuka in the main roster, or where is she in the draft right now?
She's non-existent.
Was she even on the supplemental Raw Talk?
I don't know. We'll take a look at that in just a bit. But I don't know what they're pulling off here because, yeah. Shadow says she's actually quite talented. Don't hate the lead. I'm like, how is she talented? Her doing her fake wushu and throwing shitty kicks.
I like her. The only time I like her was watching her on Sheamus's Brave Fit, or the fitness YouTube channel, where she actually basically kicked Sheamus' ass in a HIIT lah. So I know she's athletic.
She's athletic, but this is not a CrossFit Games.
Yep, for sure. She needs to show some personality.
Yeah, she has very little personality other than just yelling and doing wushu.
And even then, that can still be salvaged in NXT, but now you're on the main roster.
Yeah. And like I said, there's a huge issue with you throwing strikers out there in a wrestling ring. If you just kick wrongly or slightly off, it looks like shit, or you're actually going to kick somebody in the face. So it's very tough.
Speaking of which,
Tovakin, I did not see Malcolm Bivens tweet about Xia Li. What did Malcolm Bivens tweet? I hope it's something funny.
Xia Li, bro. Imagine her having a match with Shayna Baszler.
Oh no!
So
it would be shit. It would be the shits.
It would be the shits because of Xia Li, sure.
Yeah.
But I feel like if they really built it up and actually did something with her, right, that could actually be an interesting matchup.
But here's the thing, like, she didn't have a single memorable feud on NXT. Like, all her matches were her spin kicking somebody to death, and the spin kicks look like shit, right? And then she got into Tian Sha, had shit matches or non-finishes, went nowhere, and then now she's on SmackDown. Like, I'm sorry, I'm pretty sure she's just there to make up numbers.
It was really a waste of that those vignettes that they did, because those vignettes were really legitimately cool.
And now she's on SmackDown without Tian Sha, without the cool gimmick. So is she going to go back to her Xia Li, or are they going back to China? Are they doing a show in China? That's why faster go and put one Xia Li on SmackDown.
That could be an interesting theory. You know who I thought would have made a better choice to get called up from NXT, bro? Other than Xia Li? Freaking bring up Io Shirai lah, bro.
Yeah, Io Shirai would have been better.
Io Shirai at least can work.
Yeah, Candice LeRae at least can promo.
Can you imagine Io Shirai having matches with Sasha Banks?
Yeah, right?
Holy shoot.
So
having matches against Shayna Baszler. I mean, like, oh man, at least you have a good worker there.
But bro, like you said earlier, maybe this is just their way of taking them out of developmental so that they can fire them if it doesn't work.
I mean, yeah, that makes a lot of sense, right?
Okay, Tovakin said the last he saw Xia Li was her going to get groceries from the PC and she never came back. And he just reluctantly congratulated her. What the heck?
So basically, what? She in the middle of the night, she just escaped from NXT, go to the main roster.
Somehow, yeah, right. Okay, let's move on. Street Profits go to Raw because Bianca Belair went to Raw, and husband need to go Raw also.
Yeah. I mean, actually, I really like Street Profits on Raw in the first place. I didn't understand why they got moved to SmackDown.
But bro, you swap the New Day and Street Profits, further pushing the fact that they are just the same interchangeable tag team.
Bro, 2 times they swap, bro.
Yeah, boom, boom. Like, okay, whatever. The Viking Raiders go to SmackDown. Hopefully, they get some kind of push. But like I said, I feel like it's another mid-card, fill up the numbers switch. So, you know, you got the Alpha Academy moving to Raw. Okay, now we put the Viking Raiders over to SmackDown.
Yeah. I mean, again, like, at least Viking Raiders are kind of unique. They look interesting. Remember, there was a point in time where Viking Raiders were actually working main events with Drew McIntyre. Remember those days?
Yeah, and then now they just completely fell off.
I think they are a victim of just getting injured at the wrong time.
True.
So a bit sad in that sense.
Okay, Finn Balor is going to Raw, and we've kind of talked about it already. I mean, there are going to be interesting matches, but I also feel like he's just here to bide his time before he can go and Prince Devitt it over up at All Elite.
You know, right? I think that in a weird way, I kind of happy. Okay, I know I said I didn't like the fact that they kept moving Finn Balor. But if there was ever a time for him to become a world champion, it's right now on Raw, because there's not going to be a lot of top contenders, and I think there's no Roman Reigns to stop him.
Yep.
So hopefully, maybe this might be his opportunity to win the title one more time, at least the WWE Championship.
Him versus Big E, yeah, could be interesting. Ricochet goes to SmackDown, and yeah.
The crowd goes mild.
Yeah. So he can't be featured on 24/7 title matches anymore. Ooh.
If only Ricochet and Sheamus fought for the IC title and Ricochet still won the IC title.
Maybe.
At least it's something. Yeah. Hopefully.
Karrion Kross stays on Raw and nobody cares.
Karrion Kross and Keith Lee for the 5th time, bro.
I'm already done with that. Humberto Carrillo and Angel Garza, who apparently have mended fences. You know, they're cousins, supposedly. And they were feuding, remember? And now they are together as handsome boys, and they're moving to SmackDown. Speaking
of handsome boys, whatever happened to that whole Angel Garza giving Charlie Caruso the rose, and like, remember he cut promos giving rose to someone? That went nowhere. Yeah, well, you know, it's WWE for you. Alexa Bliss gets drafted below Street Profits, Kevin Owens, Karrion Kross. Very sad. Below Xia Li, bro. Oh my God, below Xia Li. You're right. Alexa Bliss stays on Raw. One thing I appreciated was when she got called up, right? Her name got called up on Raw, right? The crowd actually like popped for her. So like, I know the crowd loves her, but seeing as what happened last week, I think is going away for a while. Yep. Hopefully she returns with she's going away for sinus surgery, if I'm not wrong. Yes, correct. So hopefully she comes back with a new gimmick, or at least goes back to her old goddess gimmick, because it has run his course, man. Like, this Fiend thing, it's done. Cesaro is going to SmackDown. So hey, actually, you know, Sheamus and Cesaro, the bar. Oh man, yeah. I mean, that's great for them, but it sucks for Cesaro. It's supposed to be pushed as a main eventer, right? But hey, King Cesaro, maybe. I love it. I hope so. Oh, I love I saw a clip of this reaction by Corey Graves when Carmella was drafted to Raw. I think poor Corey must miss his girlfriend so much. Finally, Carmella is back on Raw. Oh yeah, they were away from each other this whole year, right? Yeah, and he's like, yes, like the way he freaked out, I was like, okay, that was quite cute. But other than that, like, I don't see her
anywhere near the title picture, but it is what it is. Okay, SmackDown, another NXT talent, and I think this one is a good choice. In fact, I would have picked him higher up instead of Xia Li, but Ridge Holland, who looks the part. He definitely 100% looks the part. I'm actually kind of bummed that they didn't draw Pete Dunne together with him, but I know why. Because Pete Dunne is on that indie contract or whatever. Like I don't think he's gonna stay very long.
Yeah, Rich Holland definitely has the look, or Vince McMahon would love him for sure.
But I feel like he has the bodyguard look. Like he needs somebody else to like make him shine. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You're right. There is some upside to him, and I was a bit sad when he got injured the first time. Because before that he was actually really on an upward momentum, right?
Like his whole look with the hat and the Billy Club, and it's very English. Like I don't want him to be a solo guy because I don't know if he can pull it off. But I also don't want him to be a bodyguard of some random American guy. It would make no sense. Like
who will you pay him up then? It has to be a European guy on SmackDown, right?
I feel like it has to be an English guy. He's very English, you know what I mean? Like his entire presentation, that's why it worked with him and Pete Dunne. And when they promo together, it sounds cool. Like,
is he English?
Rich Holland?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think so.
Okay, I thought he was American.
What?
Yeah, I thought so too. I mean, I know he dresses like a Peaky Blinders guy, but I just thought he was American.
Peaky Blinders guy. He's an English professional wrestler, former rugby league player.
All right. Yeah, definitely.
Well, fuck, your accent terrible. Say what? All right, yeah. What the fuck is that?
That was like a fake ass Scottish macam faham accent.
Yeah, okay. Who, like, I don't know if he works by himself. I could be proven wrong, but yeah. Like, who? Like, Sheamus or... But Sheamus is already a big guy. You need a smaller guy. Drake Maverick?
Man, there's no English guy that is on SmackDown I can think of right now.
I mean, what's gonna happen is they're just gonna push him as a monster heel by himself.
Could be. Or if Sheamus ever needs a bodyguard, maybe Sheamus. Or if
but Sheamus doesn't need a bodyguard. He's already big.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, if Finn Balor still stayed on SmackDown, that might have made sense.
Oh, yeah, actually, Prince Finn Balor and Rich Holland would make a cool, visually looking like duo, but not Demon. Demon doesn't make sense. Yeah,
so SmackDown, I think we'll have to see who's on SmackDown after a couple of months, maybe.
Actually, I just realized one thing as we look at the last round of the draft, right? Because okay, I'll just jump right into it. Sami Zayn got drafted to SmackDown. They wear the same type of hat.
Sami Zayn.
Oh, that could be quite funny.
There could be a Canadian European connection right there.
Yeah, but the last big draw of Raw or pick rather, Gable Stevenson. Okay, like he was a big deal when WWE signed him because he's like Olympic gold medalist. Like in rest, like so he's like the next Kurt Angle in a way lah. But like he literally hasn't been through NXT. I think he's gonna skip NXT altogether. He's just gonna debut straight off.
Okay. I'm very curious. I'm very morbidly curious, but I'm also very scared. Like,
yeah,
maybe he could become Kurt Angle and just pick it up like that and become the best rookie of the year. Or he can end up like Jason Jordan.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of which, what happened to him? Is he still injured?
Bro, I think he retired, bro, because now he's a producer full time.
Oh shit! Oh,
like so
the
neck injury, or maybe he's like permanently on the show, but he's working his way back once he's really healthy.
Right.
But bro, okay, if you watch Raw, they actually recorded his reaction, bro. You know, Gable Stevenson, his reaction was recorded from where or not?
Where?
Live from his house.
Oh, okay lah.
He actually like hugged his parents all, and it was recorded. I'm like, okay, talk about like having it all planted and planned.
Yeah lah. I mean, you have to, right?
Yeah, but yeah, Gable Stevenson though. I mean, great pick. Very shocking for sure. But it could be a case of too much too soon and Vince McMahon just getting all steamy when he sees a big sweaty man like him?
No, like, I think they see Kurt Angle, the next Kurt Angle in him. It's just how will they present him as a personality after that. So there you go. Let's move on to the supplemental draft then. And I'm looking at, okay, hang on Raw talk. I'm looking at one source, but I don't know why there's only one source. Like, did it literally just happen? That's why there are not many.
But Raw was like a couple of hours ago, so I hope there is more names because I'm thinking of a couple of people that kind of slipped through the cracks.
Hang on, let me just Google just to make sure because I found one article. I want to find more articles. Just
to
in
double
case,
check, right?
yeah, the one, we do our research properly, not just follow one article, huh?
Of course. In the meantime, those in the chat, what was your favorite draft pick from these 2 nights of the WWE draft? Like, which one made a lot of sense? Which one you were the happiest the most? That they went to the other show. What about the most surprising or most shocking? Because for me, like I mentioned to him, Gable Stevenson was definitely one of the most shocking ones. Hit Row was the most shocking one for me on SmackDown.
Yeah. Hang on. How about Jeff Hardy's teased alter ego, guys? What, Willow?
So I didn't see that though.
Yeah, I don't give a flying fuck about anything. I'm sorry, like I know it sounds very bad, right? But I really don't care about Jeff Hardy. He should just go AEW and work with Matt.
So sad.
Okay, so I'm looking at 2 different websites, so I'll just go for it right now. Okay, the supplemental draft as revealed on Raw Talk. Liv Morgan is going to Raw.
Okay.
Interesting, actually. Dana Brooke is going to Raw. Who cares? Dolph Ziggler and Robert. Whoops. Ad popped up on one of my pages. Did you hear that?
No, I didn't, bro.
Oh, okay. An ad popped up. I heard it. I was like, what's going on? Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode going to Raw. I mentioned that already, right?
Yep.
Jason Riker on Raw.
Nobody cares.
Veer on Raw.
Veer and Shanky?
Yeah, Veer. Well, that's the thing. I will just say Veer on Raw. Mia Yim to Raw. Well, technically she was already on Raw, but we didn't know that.
Okay. So Mia Yim just came back to NXT for a cup of coffee, and now she's back on the main roster.
She never came back to NXT. She just disappeared after the whole Retribution thing, and now
I think she a bit scarred. No, she was. If I remember correctly, she was taking care of Keith Lee when she was sick.
Yeah.
And Mia Yim being on Raw makes sense because of Keith Lee, right?
Yep. Tamina on Raw. Tegan Knox on Raw. What the hell? This tag team lasted for like a cup of coffee, and they're just splitting them up now.
Oh shit, that means Shotzi is on SmackDown.
Yeah, Shotzi remains on SmackDown. But yeah, Tegan Knox has been drafted to Raw. Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin on Raw. Makes sense, Hurt Business, right? The Miz stays on Raw. Okay, great. I mean, The Miz has unfinished business with John Morrison, honestly, but I don't know when they're going to revisit that feud, or is The Miz too busy dancing with the stars?
Yeah, he is apparently doing a very good job of it.
So, okay, Veer stays on Raw, right? Because Jinder Mahal, don't hinder the Jinder, and Shanky are going to SmackDown.
Oh.
Which
so
is...
wait, Veer specifically?
Yeah, Veer specifically stays on Raw, Shanky and Jinder on SmackDown, which is very weird.
Wait, which one looks like the mini Great Khali? And there's one that looks super buff. Do you remember who is who?
I forgot. Yeah. Wait. Let me double check. Okay.
I know one of them looks like a very small.
The guy with the big thick beard and the forehead paint stays on Raw. That is Veer.
Okay, then that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
You know why?
Why?
Have you watched this show called The $1 Million Arm?
No.
There is a movie called The $1 Million Arm. Veer actually has a very, very interesting background story, and he actually got famous before the WWE.
Oh, and isn't Veer part of a tag team anyway?
He was part of Indus Sher.
Yeah, Indus Sher. So I mean, technically, if the other guy Indus Sher is back from injury, then they can resume their tag team stuff on Raw. They don't need Jinder already.
Yeah, Veer is actually a very famous Bollywood celebrity on his own. Okay, just a quick history about Veer, right? Which so far hasn't been mentioned on WWE, but I think they're gonna bring it up if he's as a solo artist, push as a solo wrestler. He was the first ever Indian baseball player to be hired by the MLB because he won a reality competition called the $1 Million Arm.
Oh, okay.
And then it got turned into a movie. It got turned into a reality movie starring Craig Gillespie, John Hamm.
Okay.
John Hamm.
Cool.
So it was actually a very well-known story, Hollywood story of this guy. He's out of nowhere.
Yeah.
He got scouted by an MLB owner and became like a World Series champion or something. So he actually left baseball, got super buff because before that he was a skinny, normal-sized Indian guy.
Yeah.
And then now he's in WWE and he was also a famous like stuntman, coordinator, actor in Bollywood. So he has a very interesting backstory on his own.
Yeah, I'm amazed they haven't. Well, then again, he's just been, the lackey of Jinder Mahal and Indonesia. So maybe we'll see some character development here. This makes sense. Yeah, so it totally makes sense. Yeah, Jinder now has Shanky as his backup, aka Mini Kali. Natalia and Tamina broken up. Shotzi and Tegan Nox broken up.
So Natalia stays on SmackDown, yeah?
Yeah. And so there you go. So now they have to find more tag teams to create so that Nikki Ash and what's her face? Rhea Ripley can do the shit. So there you go.
I'm quite sad that they broke up two like actually kind of established tag teams in Tegan Nox and Shotzi and Natalia Tamina.
Okay, to be honest, they weren't even an established tag team to begin with.
They were together for a while.
Yeah, they were literally together for a cup of coffee. Like Shotzi and Ember Moon were the tag team on NXT. And
oh my god, Ember Moon.
So they anyhow just smashed them together, put them on SmackDown, barely had any matches, and then broke them up. That's why they are on the supplemental draft.
Is that the end of the draft?
Yep, that's it. That's all. And it's a good point to sort of wrap things up here, I guess.
Yeah.
This year the draft, like there are some standouts, but honestly, by and large, nothing big for me.
Bro, I'm quite curious why one of the most popular wrestlers in WWE never got drafted at all.
Who are you talking about?
How can anyone forget about Eva Marie, bro?
Free agent, bro. Free agent.
Like so are you saying the biggest free agents in WWE right now is Brock Lesnar and Eva Marie?
I guess so. Okay, I think there's probably going to be one more like, oh, by the way, these are all undrafted and we'll figure out what to do with them.
Like Heath Slater like a couple of years ago, right?
Yeah. So Eva Marie is undrafted. They should have left Naomi undrafted. So to further that whole storyline where she finally snaps and turns and joins the bloodline or some shit.
Yeah, or maybe I guess Eva Marie is out injured technically by Shayna Baszler and I think she's gonna go away, or maybe she just goes away forever.
Yeah, literally came back to debut, did a piss poor job of it, and then F's off.
Yeah, I mean, if that's her contribution back to WWE, I mean, why not?
Why I could think of 1,001 reasons, but anyway, we won't go into that. There you go. Did you enjoy the draft? Like I said, I already shared mine. Chat, please let me know if anything jumps out as being exciting. To me, there's nothing more exciting than what AEW is doing, which is very shocking. For me, like Mr. Young saying that AEW is the more entertaining and exciting show because they really are bringing the Attitude Era vibe back. You never know who's going to show up. There's always the possibility of, the WWE guys going over. And it was very middle of the road for me in this draft. And I think they had a couple of factors going against the draft. First and foremost, everyone is in a weird way caring more about Crown Jewel. Yeah. Because of course we want to watch Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns, blah, blah, blah. So like draft was a bit of kind of after the fact, or like it's a by the way. And also there's on top of that, there's going to be Survivor Series. And the part where they announced that the draft is only going to come into effect after Crown Jewel really hurt it. I think people were like, okay lah, this is not going to be important until like next month. So why should I care about it now? Right. It's interesting to see where we'll be in a few months at the end of the year. Can AEW keep up the momentum of excitingness? Because, now it's a hot time for them because they have new stars, right?
Yeah, it's a hot time for them. And I think another thing that will make it really, really hot is one thing we have to talk about before we wrap up today's episode, bro. Rhodes to the Top.
Fuck that show lah.
The best reality series to come out of AEW.
Fuck that show. Oh my god. Like if ever, like maybe in a few weeks they're probably going to say, yeah, the plan was for Cody to go heel all along. Like fuck off. I don't believe that for 1 second. All right. They are just going to claim that was the point. But like, oh my god. Rhodes to the Top, right? When I watched that show, I could not get past half the episode, by the way. I stopped it at half the episode. I was so annoyed by Brandy. Brandy is like the ultimate heel. She should be the monster heel GM.
She should. I think she's more annoying than Stephanie McMahon at this point.
Oh my god. Super wow, I cannot know. And then actually Cody seemed a bit sympathetic when put next to Brandy. Like he seems like the putting husband, always kind of F by the wife.
You're right, because I believe, right, if this whole point of the Rhodes to the Top, right, was to turn them into the despicable duo and make him like a heel Homelander gimmick, I think it's great, perfect, because I think, okay, the thing about the show, right, okay, it sucks in a lot of ways that reality show sucks, right? But the thing that I found so funny, hilarious, and also a bit sad about the show is that it is so freaking tone deaf, bro. I think that's the perfect word to describe the show. It's so tone deaf. I roll my eyes when they talk about that promo.
Oh, yeah.
That promo, bro. That America first black white kid promo that was apparently very personal to Cody Rhodes, and it made Brandy Rhodes tear up. What the fish?
Yeah, they are so into themselves. It's not even funny. Like, I cannot It's not like you're talking about let's say if Triple H and Stephanie McMahon were talking about that stuff, I would be like, okay, at least they hit the heights of the heights. You know what I mean? Like the Attitude Era, they have the cachet to talk about stuff like that. But when you are like Cody Rhodes and Brandy Rhodes, and you got just some rich guy's money, and it's like, I cannot. Like Miz and Maurice at least are super funny and nonsensical and hilarious. Like they seem less into themselves,
which is so weird because the Miz as a character is supposed to be this very self-centered, really self-absorbed guy.
Yeah,
but the Miz and Mrs. actually showcase a very down-to-earth side of the couple.
Yeah. Whereas Rhodes to the Top make them sound even more delusional and into themselves, which is like they are the complete opposite of Miz and Maurice.
Yeah. The only saving grace of the AEW's Road to the Top, right, is actually they kind of pull the curtain back on some of the AEW stars, and like I saw them in a different light. I really enjoyed like how Ricky Starks was portrayed. Darby Allin, like those kind of things I don't mind.
Yeah. Very quickly also and this is actually what got me to watch Rhodes to the Top, which is brilliant marketing by them. You know, after Sammy Guevara won the TNT title over Miro,
yes,
they said his first promo will be during the commercial break of Rhodes to the Top. So I'm like, oh shit, I'm going to watch Rhodes to the Top. Just to watch the promo where he opened the forbidden door and was challenged by
Bobby Fish.
Excuse me, the door is not forbidden. He gonna fire it already, okay? Shut the fuck up with your forbidden door. This is not forbidden.
Okay, Bobby Fish was obviously a very interesting first choice. Okay, one thing I want to ask you, bro, how do you actually watch that commercial? Because I was watching AEW Dynamite on Fight TV, right?
Yeah.
So how did that continue after?
It was part of Rhodes to the Top. It was in the Rhodes to the Top.
Oh, so Rhodes to the Top was also on Fight TV for you?
No.
Oh. Okay, but the thing is, I like that they kind of slotted that promo in during Rhodes to the Top. Yeah, that was very interesting. But do you think that they are actually gonna use things from Rhodes to the Top as storylines in AEW?
Well, they really can't because Rhodes to the Top was filmed prior. So unless they planned it, like this episode, we talk about this and therefore we reference it on the show, that would be the only way. But now it seems like they're going kind of a different way, with Rhodes' character on, unless they completely planned it out, then we know Rhodes to the Top is completely fake.
Yeah. You want to know something very interesting about Rhodes to the Top?
What?
Something I realized the moment I was watching the episode, and it came to my mind straight away. There wasn't any other EVPs shown on the show.
Because it's Rhodes to the Top. It's not Elite. And remember, the Elite already have a YouTube show which is super popular and everyone watches.
So I think this show kind of proves the rumor true that the EVPs are not really that close anymore with each other.
Okay, you know what? That's fine. It's not a big deal to me as long as like what's happening on the on-air product doesn't suffer. And right now you can tell that less of the decision making is being put into the hands of these EVPs and actually into the hands of wrestlers who have been there, who know how to make shit work. CM Punk, Bryan Danielson, Adam Cole, baby. They are in Tony Khan's ear. Tony Khan apparently has more power to book, like actually best booker of 2021 with no sarcasm.
Okay, so does this mean, bro, the reason why AEW was so up and down the first 2 years was because the EVPs had more say?
Yeah.
And finally, when Tony Khan decided, okay, I'm going to take back the reins of control, critical, they're just going to go through me directly. The rest won't have any say in hiring people, pushing people. The show got better.
Okay, it's not exactly that. I feel like it's because they got in top tier talent who know how to do things, and they probably suggested, okay, let's do this, let's do that, right? Like I mentioned, your CM Punks, your Daniel Bryan or Bryan Danielsons, and Adam Cole. People who are proven commodities going in to tweak these storylines, right? And yes, less of the Young Bucks feuding with their friends, less of Cody and QT and hiring their friends and having feuds, you know, less of the best friends on TV and all that bullshit.
Yeah, maybe. I think that's exactly what you're trying to say. Where like maybe last time the Young Bucks ran a rough shot, like made the decisions over everyone. And now who the hell is Young Bucks gonna tell CM Punk what to do? CM Punk's like, you shut up, you listen to me.
Exactly. And Tony Khan's probably gonna listen to CM Punk and Daniel Bryan more than the other few, even though they don't have the title of EVP.
You know what's the best thing?
What?
No one's gonna listen to Cody Rhodes anymore.
Poor thing. Oh no. And then,
Okay, who is Cody Rhodes to tell Big Show what to do?
yeah, exactly. Right?
Yeah, so perfect.
Well, Mark Henry is there as well. So you have all these like old school, not say old school, but like proven commodities who know how these things go, and they are not going to take any of that bullshit flippity floppity shit anymore.
I would dare say, bro, this is just a bit of a long-term booking for me, right? I want this time next year for Cody Rhodes to become the biggest heel AEW champion of them all. Only because, bro, remember he said that he won't fight for the title last time?
Yeah.
But when he turns into a heel and he's like, you know what? I don't care about the fans anymore. I'm going to renegade on that and I'm going to be this champion.
Yeah, he'll go back on his word. That's the perfect, segue into being a heel.
Yeah. And I think that will make finally Cody the most compelling thing he's ever been.
No, then you'll have to have CM Punk beat or Bryan Danielson beat Kenny Omega, and then have Cody Rhodes beat a beloved babyface to become the biggest heel.
Oh my god. Okay. So if the whole payoff of Rhodes to the top is turn him such a despicable person off camera and then make him into the most despicable person on camera, it's a win-win.
I wouldn't say he's despicable. I just would say that he's like delusional, which might be the best type of heel, because you know the best villains are the ones that believe that they are the hero.
Yeah, I know. And probably you've heard a couple of people saying online that he really can rock the Homelander gimmick from The Boys.
Sure.
I think if you watch the show, and it's really, really a good show, it's very highly acclaimed. It's on Amazon Prime. If you check that out and see Homelander, you will understand why Cody Rhodes is perfect to play that kind of character.
Maybe this was his idea all along.
Yeah, he's very in his own world, very thinking that he's this American hero that's gonna save the day, but he's fucking an American nightmare. That really is his real gimmick.
So he's the exact opposite of his dad, lah.
Yeah.
Because his dad was like the American dream. He was like the average plumber, son of a plumber. He's just a common man.
You either die a hero or you live long enough to be called a villain.
Okay, so that wraps up this week in pro wrestling in a way. We talked about the draft, we talked a bit about AEW. What's next for us, bro, other than Crown Jewel, which we are so excited to see? Crown Jewel, is it even on a Monday? It's not, right? It's on like some Thursday or some weird shit like that.
I've no idea. I thought it was kind of on a normal pay-per-view weekend.
Let me just very quickly Google this shit.
So like we talk about Dark Side of the Ring. We mentioned it briefly. FMW was a really great episode. For those who haven't watched, please watch that. We are moving towards mid-October. So this time, usually, there's Halloween. There's Halloween inspired shows coming up probably.
Halloween
Havoc on NXT.
The horror show. Hang on. Let me just very quickly look at this year, October 21st, which is, like I said, a Thursday. So it'll be a Friday morning for us. Hey, wait, no, not Friday morning. Sorry, because time zone. What is Saudi Arabia's time zone?
Oh, Saudi Arabia is not that far. It's like only like 8 hours or 6 hours.
So it could actually be a Thursday evening for us, you know.
Well, that would be great for a preview right the week before.
Maybe we should do a special like an evening stream. What do you say? We'll see. When we get closer, when we finalize the time, we'll figure it out.
Yeah,
because I'm sure there will be some controversy coming out of Crown Jewel for sure.
No, don't jinx it, bro. I don't want the wrestlers to be kept on the train on the flight for like another 12 hours or what.
Not that kind of controversy lah. Like Goldberg winning the title or some bullshit like that.
No. Goldberg and Lashley, thank God, is a non-title match. So next week, hopefully we're back on our normal timing on Mondays. We'll see what happens in the wrestling world in this coming week. That should be great.
Ooh, Rishi suggests live watch along for Crown Jewel. Maybe that's a good idea.
Interesting.
Yeah, maybe we can all watch it together on Discord or something, and it'll be fun.
But yeah, so that's 2 weeks away. So next week we'll see what happens on the wrestling world, and we can talk about it.
Absolutely. And as always, thank you so much for hanging out in the live chat. If you missed anything, you can watch the video on demand on YouTube here, or you can check out the podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and wherever else you get your podcasts from. Here on this Tuesday, usually Tuesday afternoons at 2 o'clock, I do my video game streaming on Twitch. So in about 9 minutes, I'm going to jump on Twitch and continue. Oh my God, I've been streaming for like 2 hours. I'm going to stream for another 4 hours. Wow.
Bro, respect, bro. Please take a break when you can.
Quick plug right now, twitch.tv/MrYoung98, MiSterYoung98. I'm going to jump on there. We're going to be playing Dead by Daylight in about 9 minutes time, bro.
Hey, since we are on the subject of plugging things, bro.
Plug.
I got something to announce,
Dude, okay. What?
For this month, This month. Foreign is not just a wrestler and a wrestling host, podcast host, right?
Yeah.
Apparently, I'm also a musician and rapper.
What? Apparently, we know you are, bro.
Yeah, so I haven't been doing that rapping thing.
Blue tick.
Yes, I haven't been doing that rapping thing for a while. And actually, this week is actually the 1 year anniversary of my previous single, Blue Tick.
Yeah.
I'm going to let you guys know here first.
Ooh.
I'm releasing a new song at the end of the month.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, man. So look out for that. I'm going to tell you guys more details hopefully soon.
In the meantime, go check out Blue Tick on Spotify.
Hey, thanks for the plug, bruh.
Blue Tick, bro. All right, we'll see you guys next week. Thank you so much for hanging out. Come talk to us on social media. Kick to the Gut on Instagram, on Facebook, and whatnot. You know what to do. All right, it's Mr. Young.
It is Foreign in the building. Have a great week ahead.
Yeah.